Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Our today's topic is experimental research. Experimental research is one of the most powerful research methodologies that researcher can use. Of the many types of research that might be used, the experiment is the best way to establish cause-effect relationship. Experimental research is best suited for explanatory research rather than for descriptive or exploratory research, where the goal of the study is to examine cause-effect relationships. It also works well for research that involves a relatively limited and well-defined set of independent variables that can either be manipulated or controlled. Experimental research is the only type of research that can test hypotheses to establish cause-effect relations. It represents the strongest chain of reasoning about the link between variables. Basic terminologies of experimental research. Subject. The term subject is used to mean someone who participate in study or participants of the experiment. Treatment and control groups. In experimental research, some subjects are administered one or more experimental stimulus called a treatment, the treatment group, while other subjects are not given such a stimulus, the control groups. Treatment manipulation. Treatments are the unique feature of experimental research that set this design apart from all other research methods. Treatment manipulation help control for the cause. In cause-effect relationships, naturally, the validity of experimental research depends on how well the treatment was manipulated. Treatment manipulation must be checked using pre-test and pilot test prior to the experimental study. Any measurements conducted before the treatment is administered are called pre-test measures, while those conducted after the treatments are post-test measures. The uniqueness of experimental research. Experimental research is unique in two very important aspects. It is the only type of research that directly attempts to influence a particular variable, and when properly applied, it is the best type for testing hypotheses about cause and effect relationships. In an experimental study, researchers look at the effects of at least one independent variable on one or more dependent variables. The independent variable in experimental research is also frequently referred to as the experimental or treatment variable. The dependent variable, also known as the criterion or outcome variable, refers to the result or outcome of the study. The major characteristics of experimental research that distinguishes it from all other type of research is that researchers manipulate the independent variable. They decide the nature of the treatment, that is what is going to happen to the subjects of the study, to whom it is to be applied and to what extent. Independent variables frequently manipulated in educational research include methods of instructions, type of assignments, learning materials, rewards given to students, and type of questions asked by teachers. Dependent variables that are frequently studied include achievement, interest in a subject, attention span, motivation, and attitude towards school. Experimental research therefore enables researchers to go beyond description and prediction, beyond the identification of relationships, to at least a partial determination of what causes them. Correlational studies may demonstrate a strong relationship between socioeconomic level and academic achievement, for instance, but they cannot demonstrate that improving socioeconomic level will necessarily improve achievement. Only experimental research has this capability. Some actual examples of the kind of experimental studies that have been conducted by educational researchers are as follow. The effect of small classes on instruction. The effect of early reading instructions on growth rate of at-risk kindergartners. The use of intensive mentoring to help beginning teachers develop balanced instruction. The effect of lotteries on web survey response rate. Introduction of a course on bullying into pre-service teacher training curriculum. Using social stories to enhance the interpersonal conflict resolution skills of children with learning disabilities. Some of the possible independent variables of educational research. Type of instructional organization, team teaching, self-contained classroom, type of material for concept attainment, verbal and figural, length of time on task without break, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, etc. Instructional methodologies, lecture method, group discussions, or individualized instructions. Length of exercise period, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 45 minutes. Criteria for well-designed experiment. Adequate experimental control, lack of artificiality, basis for comparison, adequate information from the data, uncontaminated data, no confounding of relevant variables, representativeness, and parsimony. Characteristics of experimental research. Comparison of group. An experiment usually involves two groups of subjects, an experimental group and a control group, or a comparison group. Although it is possible to conduct an experiment with only one group by providing all treatments to the same subject, or with the three or more groups. The experimental group receive the treatment of some sorts, such as new textbooks or different methods of teaching, while the control group receive no treatment or the comparison group receives a different treatment. The control or the comparison group is crucially important in all experimental research, for it enables the researcher to determine whether the treatment has had an effect or whether one treatment is more effective than another. Manipulation of the independent variable. The second essential characteristic of all experiments is that the researchers actively manipulate the independent variables. What does this mean? Simply put, it means that the researcher deliberately and directly determines what forms the independent variable will take and then which group will get which form. For example, the independent variable in a study is the amount of enthusiasm an instructor displays. A researcher might train two teachers to display different amounts of enthusiasm as they teach their classes. Randomization. An important aspect of many experiments is the random assignment of subjects to groups. Although there are certain kinds of experiment in which random assignment is not possible, researchers try to use randomization whenever feasible. It is a crucial ingredient in the best kinds of experiments. Random assignment is similar but not identical to the concept of random selection. Random assignment means that every individual who is participating in an experiment has an equal chance of being assigned to any of the experimental or control conditions being compared. Random selection, on the other hand, means that every member of a population has an equal chance of being selected to be a member of the sample. The three things should be noted about the random assignment of a subject to groups. First, take place before the experiment begins. Second, it is a process of assigning or distributing individual to groups, not a result of such distribution. This means that you cannot look at two groups that have already been formed and be able to tell just by looking whether or not they were formed randomly. Third, the beginning of the study, the groups are equivalent, that is, they differ only by chance in any variables of interest. In other words, Random assignment is intended to eliminate the threat of extraneous variable or additional variables, not only those of which researchers are aware, but also those of which they are not aware that might affect the outcome of the study. This is the beauty and the power of the random assignment. It is one of the reasons why experiments are in general more effective than other types of research for assessing cause and effect relationships. The experimental process. The steps in experimental studies are basically the same as in other types of research: selecting and defining a problem, hypothesis formulation. An experimental study is guided by at least one hypothesis that state an expected causal relation between two variables. Selecting participants. It is important to note that the experimental researcher controls both the selection and the assignment of the research participants. That is, the researcher randomly select participants from a single well-defined population and then randomly assign these participants to the different treatment conditions. This ability to select and assign participants to treatment randomly makes experimental research unique. The random assignment of participants to treatment, also called manipulation of the treatment, is the feature that distinguishes it from causal comparative research. Executing procedures. An experiment typically involves a comparison of two groups. Although some experimental studies have only one group, as already discussed, or even three or more groups, the experimental comparison is usually one of the three types. Comparison of two different approaches, A versus B. Comparison of a new approach and the existing approach, A versus no A. And the third, comparison of a different amount of a single approach, a little of A versus a lot of A. Analyzing the data, and the last step is formulating conclusions. Threats to experimental study. There are two threats to experimental study, that is of internal validity and external validity. First of all, what is internal validity? Internal validity is the degree to which observed differences on the dependent variables are a direct result of a manipulation of the independent variable, not some other variables. In other words, an examination of internal validity focuses on threats or rival explanations that influence the outcome of an experimental study but are not due to the independent variable. In the example of student and parent tutors, a plausible threat or rival explanation for the research result is the difference in the outcome of tutoring time. The degree to which experimental research results are attributable to the independent variable and not to the another rival explanation is the degree to which the study is internally valid. External validity, also called ecological validity, is the degree to which study results are generalizable or applicable to groups and environments outside the experimental study settings. In other words, an examination of external validity focuses on threats or rival explanations that disallow the result of a study to be generalized to other settings or groups. A study conducted with groups of gifted ninth graders, for example, should produce results that are applicable to other groups of gifted ninth graders. If research results were never generalizable outside the experimental setting, then no one could profit from research. Threats to internal validity. The first threat is history. When discussing threats to validity, history refers to any event occurring during a study that is not part of the experimental treatment but may affect the dependent variable. The longer a study lasts, the more likely it is that history will be a threat. A bomb scare, an epidemic of measles, are global current events are examples of such threats. For example, suppose you conducted a series of in-service workshops designed to increase the morale of teacher participants. Between the time you conducted the workshop and the time you administered a post-test measure of a morale, the new media announced that due to state-level budget problems, funding to the local school district was to be significantly reduced and promised pay raises for teachers would likely to be postponed. Such an event could easily wipe out any effect the workshop may have had, and post-test morale scores may well be considerably lower than they otherwise may have been. Maturation. Maturation refers to physical, intellectual, and emotional changes that naturally occurs within individuals over a period of time. In a research study, these changes may affect participants' performance on a measure of the dependent variable. Maturation is more likely to be a problem in a study designed to test the effectiveness of a psychomotor training program on 3 years old than in a study designed to compare two methods of teaching algebra. Young participants typically undergo rapid biological changes, raising the question of whether changes on the dependent variables are due to the training program or to maturation. Third is the testing. Testing, also called pre-test sensitization, refers to the threat of improved performance on a post-test that results from a pre-test. In other words, simply taking a pre-test may improve participant scores on a post-test, regardless of whether they received any treatment or instruction in between. Testing is more likely to be a threat when the time between the test is short. A pre-test taken in September is not likely to affect performance on a post-test taken in June. The testing threats to internal validity is most likely to occur in studies that measures factual information that can be easily recalled. Another threat to internal validity is instrumentation. The instrumentation threats refers to the unreliability or lack of consistency in measuring instruments that may result in an invalid assessment of performance. Instrumentation may threaten validity in several different ways. A problem may occur if the researcher uses two different tests, one for pre-testing and one for post-testing, and the results are not of equal difficulty. For example, if the post-test is more difficult than the pre-test, improvement may be masked. Alternatively, if the post-test is less difficult than the pre-test, it may indicate improvement that is not really present. If the data is collected through observation, observation may not be observing or evaluating behavior in the same way at the end of the study as at the beginning. In fact, if they are aware of the nature of the study, they may record only behavior that support the researcher's hypothesis. If data are collected through the use of mechanical device, the device may be poorly calibrated, resulting in inaccurate measurement. Thus, the researcher must take care in selecting test, observers, and mechanical devices to measure the dependent variable. Next threat is statistical regression. Usually occurs in studies where participants are selected on the basis of their extremely high or extremely low scores. Statistical regression is the tendency of participants who score highest on a test, for example a pre-test, to a score lower on a second similar test, for example a post-test, and of participants who score lowest on a pre-test to score highest on a post-test. The tendency is for scores to regress or move towards a mean, average, or expected score. Thus, extremely high score regress, for example, move lower towards the mean, and extremely low scores regress, for example, move higher towards the mean. Next threat is differential selection of participants. Differential selection of participants is the selection of subjects who have differences before the start of study that may at least partially account for differences found in a post-test. The threats that the groups are different before the study begins is more likely when a researcher is comparing already formed groups. Mortality. First, let us make it perfectly clear that the mortality threat is usually not related to participants dying. Mortality or attrition refers to a reduction in the number of research participants. This reduction occurs over time as individuals drop out of a study. Mortality creates problem with validity, particularly when different groups drop out for different reasons and with different frequency. A researcher can assess the mortality of groups by obtaining demographic information about the participants groups before the start of the study and then determining the makeup of the group has changed at the end of the study. Selection, maturation, interaction, and other interactive effects. The effects of differential selection may also interact with the effects of maturation, history, or testing, with the resulting interaction threatening internal validity. In other words, if already formed groups are included in a study, one group may profit more or less from a treatment or have an initial advantage or disadvantage because of maturation, history, or testing factors. The most common of these interactive effects is selection maturation interaction, which exists if participants selected into the treatment groups matured at different rates during the study. Threats to external validity. Several major threats to external validity can limit generalization of the experimental results to other populations. The first threat is pre-test treatment interaction. Pre-test treatment interaction occurs when participants respond or react differently to a treatment because they have been pre-tested. Pre-testing may sensitize or alert subjects to the nature of the treatment, potentially making the treatment effect different than it would have been had subject not been pre-tested. For example, we have two groups of students. Participants who view the anti-prejudice film Gentleman's Agreement after taking a lengthy pretest dealing with anti-Semitism and participants who view the movie without a pretest. Individuals not pretested could conceivably enjoy the movie as a good love story, unaware that it deals with a social issue. Individuals who have taken the pretest, in contrast, may be much more likely to see a connection between the pretest and the message of the film. If the pretesting affects participants' responses on the dependent measure, the research results are generalizable only to other pretested groups. The results are not generalizable to the population from which the sample was selected and the population which was not pretested. Multiple treatment interference. Sometimes the same research participants receive more than one treatment in succession. Multiple treatment interference occur when carryover effects from an earlier treatment make it difficult to assess the effectiveness of a later treatment. For example, suppose you are interested in comparing two different approaches to improve classroom behavior, behavior modification and corporal punishment. Admittedly, an extreme examples we are using to make a point. For 2 months, behavior modification techniques were systematically applied to the participants, and at the end of this period, you found behavior to be significantly better than before the study began. For the next 2 months, the same participants were physically punished with hand slapping, spanking, and the like whenever they misbehaved, and at the end of the 2 months, behavior was equally as good as after the 2 months of the behavior modification. Could you then conclude that the behavior modification and corporal punishments are equally effective methods of behavior control? Certainly not. In fact, the goal of behavior modification is to produce self-maintaining behavior, that is, behavior that continues after direct intervention is stopped. The good behavior exhibited by the participant at the end of the corporal punishment period could well be due to the effectiveness of previous exposure to behavior modification. This good behavior could exist in spite of rather than because of exposure to corporal punishment. Selection treatment interactions. Selection treatment interaction and other threats to a population validity occurs when study findings apply only to the non-representative group involved and are not representative of the treatment effects in the extended population. This interaction occurs when study participants at one level of variable react differently to a treatment than other potential participants in the population at another level would have reacted. For example, a researcher may conduct a study on the effectiveness of microcomputer assisted instructions on the math achievement of junior high school students. Classes available to the researcher, the accessible population, may represent an overall ability level at the lower end of the ability spectrum for all junior high school students, the target population. If so, positive effect shown by the participants in the sample may be valid only for lower ability students rather than for the target population of all junior high school students. Similarly, if microcomputer assisted instructions appear ineffective for this sample, it may still be effective for the target population. Like selection treatment interactions, specificity of the variable is a threat to generalizability of research results regardless of the particular experimental design. Any given study has specificity of variables, that is, the study is conducted with a specific kind of participants using a specific measuring instruments at a specific time and under a specific set of circumstances. Treatment diffusion occurs when different treatment groups communicate with and learn from each other. When participants in one treatment group know about the treatment received by a different group, they often borrow aspects from that treatment. When such borrowing occurs, the study no longer has two distinctly different treatments but rather has two overlapping ones. The integrity of each treatment is diffused. Often the more desirable treatment, the experimental treatment or the treatment with additional resources, is diffused into the less desirable treatment. Experimental effect. Researchers themselves also present potential threats to the external validity of their own students. A researcher's influences on the participants are on study procedures, also known as experimental effects. Positive experimental effects occur as a result of characteristics or personality traits of the experimenters, such as gender, age, race, anxiety level, and hostility level. These influences are collectively called experimental personal attributes effects. Active experimental effects occur when the researcher's expectation of the study result affect his or her behavior and contributes to producing certain research outcomes. This effect is referred to as the experimental bias effect. An experimenter may unintentionally affect study results, typically in the desired direction, simply by looking, feeling, or acting in a certain way. Reactive arrangements, also called participants' effect, are threats to validity that are associated with the way in which a study is conducted and the feelings and the attitudes of the participants involved. To maintain a high degree of control and obtain an internal validity, a researcher may create an experimental environment that is highly artificial and not easily generalizable to non-experimental settings. That is a reactive arrangement. First one is Hawthorne effect. A reactive arrangement results from participant knowledge that they are involved in an experiment or their feelings that they are in some way receiving special attention. It is used to describe any situation in which participant behavior is expected not by the treatment per se but by their awareness of participating in a study. The effect that such knowledge or feelings can have on the participant was demonstrated at the Hawthorne plant of the Western Electric company in Chicago some year ago. That is why its name is Hawthorne. As a part of a study to investigate the relation between various working conditions and the productivity, researchers investigated the effect of light intensity and the worker output. Thus, researchers increased light intensity and production went up. They increased it some more and production went up some more. The brighter the place became, the more production rose. As a check, the researcher decreased the light intensity and guess what, production went up. The darker it got, the more worker produced. The researchers soon realized that it was the intention given to the workers, not the illumination, that was affecting production. Another threat is also known as John Henry effects, occur when members of a control group feel threatened or challenged by being in competition with an experimental group and they perform way beyond what would normally be expected. Folk hero John Henry, you may recall, was a steel driven man who worked for a railroad. When he heard that a steam drill was going to replace him and his fellow steel drivers, he challenged and set out to beat the machine. Through tremendous effort, he managed to win the ensuing contest, dropping dead at the finish line. In the John Henry effect, research participants who are told that they will form the control group for a new experimental method start to act like John Henry. As an antidote to the Hawthorne and John Henry effects, educational researchers often attempt to achieve a placebo effect. The term comes from medical researchers who discovered that any apparent medication, even sugar and water, could make subjects feel better. Any beneficial effect caused by a person's expectations about a treatment rather than the treatment itself became known as the placebo effect. Another reactive arrangement or participants effect is the novelty effect, which refers to the increased interest, motivation, engagement participants develop simply because they are doing something different. That is all about the experimental research. The next part of this chapter includes the experimental research design. Thank you very much for your patience listening.